Let me tell y'all something. Some stories? They don't start with fireworks or drama. They start quiet, too quiet. And that's exactly how this one began. That day, Naya woke up before the sun, tiptoeing around her own damn house like she was a guest instead of the wife who kept everything running. The kitchen smelled like fresh eggs and coffee, because of course she'd been cooking since dawn. Not because she wanted to, but because she never wanted to give her husband, Trayvon, another thing to complain about. When the clock hit 6 a.m., here he came walking downstairs like Mr. America in his perfectly ironed shirt, smelling like expensive cologne and attitude. Before he even sat down, Naya slid a hot mug of coffee in front of him and a plate of food she'd made with shaky hands. Trayvon didn't even look at her. Not even once. He took a sip, wrinkled his face, and said, "Coffee's kinda bitter today." Just like that. Dry. Cold. Sharp as a knife. Naya swallowed her pride. "Oh, my bad, babe. I thought I got the measurements right this time." He didn't answer. He didn't nod. He didn't even blink her way. He just pushed his plate back, ate a little, and kept scrolling on his phone like she wasn't standing right there holding her breath. And there she stood, awkward, small, invisible, waiting for him to say something, anything. But nothing came. Silence so heavy it felt like the whole house was sinking under it. That's how their mornings had been for years now. Once upon a time, breakfast used to be laughs, music, kisses. But that version of Trayvon vanished somewhere between late-night business trips and longer work hours. Finally he spoke. "Zaria up yet?" "Yeah, honey, she's showering. She'll be down." And right on cue, little footsteps bounced down the stairs. There she was, Zaria, 7 years old, sunshine in human form, wearing her school uniform like she was about to win an award. "Good morning, Mommy." "Good morning, Daddy." She hugged her mom, then ran to Trayvon. That man finally put down his phone and smiled like he was the world's best father. "Good morning, Princess. Daddy's taking you to school today." Zaria squealed. Why? "And Naya?" She breathed a tiny sigh of relief. Because at least in front of their daughter, Trayvon pretended to have a heart. The second Zaria finished eating, Trayvon grabbed his briefcase, kissed Zaria's forehead and walked out the door. Walked right past Naya like she was a shadow on the wall. No goodbye. No glance. No nothing. The only thing she heard from him was the sound of his car engine roaring away. That man couldn't leave fast enough. When the house finally went quiet, Naya stood there alone in the huge kitchen she'd cleaned 1,000 times. And for the first time that day, she let her shoulders drop. She didn't know this was the last normal morning she'd see. She didn't know a storm was coming. She didn't know her entire life was about to flip upside down. What she did know was that she was tired. Tired of working like a maid in a house that didn't feel like home. Tired of walking on eggshells around a husband who treated her like a mistake. And she had no clue that in just a few hours, a single knock on the door was going to shatter her entire world. After Trayvon left with Zaria, the house fell into that same old routine silence. Naya washed the dishes, folded clothes, cleaned rooms she didn't even mess up, all while trying to convince herself that if she just kept everything perfect, maybe, just maybe, her husband would stop treating her like she was the problem. By noon, she picked up Zaria from school. That was the only part of her day that still felt alive. "Mommy, I got 5 gold stars. Look." Zaria held her tiny hand out proudly. Naya laughed softly. "That's my smart girl. Come here," she said, pulling her in for a hug. But the second they got home, something felt off. As Naya helped Zaria take off her shoes, she heard a motorcycle pull up outside. Then a loud knock. "Package for Naya," a delivery guy shouted. Package? She hadn't ordered a single thing. Her eyebrows pulled together as she walked to the door. The delivery man handed her a thick brown envelope. Way too professional, way too heavy. No sender name. No return address. Just the logo of a law firm in the corner. A law firm. Her heart did a sharp, ugly flip. Behind her, Zaria tugged her shirt. "Who is it, Mommy?" "Probably nothing important, baby. Go change, sweetheart. Mommy will get lunch ready." The moment Zaria went up the stairs, Naya sat on the living room couch. Her hands were trembling before she even opened the damn thing. She ripped it open. And that's when her whole soul dropped straight through the floor. Petition for dissolution of marriage. For a second she forgot how to breathe. The next page hit harder. Plaintiff, Trayvon. Defendant, Naya. Her own husband. Suing her. Behind her back. And the listed reason? The wife has completely failed in her marital duties. Failed. She gave up her job. She dedicated her life to him. She raised their daughter alone while he lived like a bachelor. And he had the audacity to call her a failure? Her eyes blurred over as she read the rest. But the more she read, the worse it got. He wasn't just divorcing her. He wanted heavy checkmark full custody of Zaria. Heavy checkmark every property. Heavy checkmark the entire house. Heavy checkmark all their savings. Heavy checkmark and for Naya to leave with nothing, literally nothing. He even claimed she was emotionally unstable. He called her unfit, unprepared, dangerous. Naya's breath came out in a painful broken sound. Everything inside her cracked. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. Just then the front door opened. Trayvon walked in early, unusual. He saw her on the floor surrounded by papers. He didn't look surprised. Not even guilty. He just loosened his tie like he was taking off a mask. "Babe, what is this?" Naya whispered, her voice shaking. Trayvon stared down at her like she was dirt. "It's exactly what you think." Naya's tears fell uncontrollably. "Why? Why would you? I left everything for you. I built this home. I raised our daughter." "You failed," Trayvon interrupted sharply. "You're a burden. A useless wife. A useless mother. And I'm done pretending." His words sliced through her chest. And then he leaned down, looked her dead in the eyes, and said the sentence that destroyed the last piece of her heart. "My lawyer has everything prepared. Even Zaria will testify against you. You won't have $1. You won't have custody. You won't have anything." Naya froze. Her daughter? Her baby? He was going to use their child against her? Trayvon straightened his suit, checked the mirror and smirked. "Get ready, Naya. I'm about to take your whole world." And he walked away, like she was nothing, like she never mattered. Right there on the cold floor, surrounded by divorce papers, Naya understood something. Trayvon didn't just want to leave. He wanted to destroy her. That night, Naya didn't sleep. Not even for a minute. She sat in Zaria's room, watching her daughter breathe peacefully, because she knew the man downstairs, the man she once loved, was planning to rip that little girl out of her life. Every hour felt like a knife turning in her chest. By morning, Trayvon acted like nothing had happened. He made breakfast, woke Zaria, tied her shoelaces, kissed her forehead. He was playing the perfect daddy. And when Zaria asked, "Mommy, why are your eyes puffy?" Trayvon answered before Naya could even open her mouth. "Mommy's not feeling well, princess. She's going through things." Naya felt her stomach twist. He was already planting seeds, already poisoning her child. And once they left, the silence in that big house felt dangerous. That's when reality hit her like a truck. She needed a lawyer. Fast. ***. She grabbed her phone, hands trembling, searching every divorce attorney in the city. They all needed money. A consultation fee. A retainer. Deposits. And Naya realized something she had ignored for years. She didn't have a single dollar to her name. Trayvon gave her just enough money each month for groceries and school expenses. No savings. No emergency fund. No secret stash. But then she remembered. The joint account. The family savings. Their just-in-case fund. Maybe that could save her. With nervous fingers she opened the banking app. Typed in the password. The number popped up on the screen. And everything inside her died. Balance. $0.00. "What?" she whispered to herself. She refreshed the page. 0, 0, 0. Her heart started beating so hard she thought she might faint. She opened the transaction history. And that's when it all made sense. Over the last 6 months, Trayvon had been cleaning out the account. Not randomly. Not by accident. Systematically. Purposefully. Strategically. ***. The last huge withdrawal was just 3 days ago. He took everything. He emptied the account so she couldn't fight back. So she couldn't hire a lawyer. So she wouldn't stand a chance in court. Naya grabbed the edge of the table to keep herself from collapsing. Every move he made, every cold morning, every insult, every late night business trip, every single thing was a setup. He had been planning this. She staggered to her room, ripped open her jewelry box. Empty. He even took her wedding jewelry, her family pieces, her gold, everything. He wasn't just leaving her. He was erasing her. But when hope gets small, God sends little signs. Naya suddenly remembered an old friend who worked at a legal aid office. Someone who might help for free or nearly free. She called her with shaking hands. "Girl, I don't know if anyone can help," her friend said. "But listen, there's this attorney. Not fancy, not expensive, but honest. His name's Mr. Abernathy. Go to him right now." Naya didn't hesitate. With the little cash she had in her purse, she grabbed a cab to the strip mall address. The office wasn't glamorous. Old paint, creaky stairs, cheap sign on the door. But inside sat a middle-aged black lawyer with calm eyes behind thick glasses. He listened. Really listened. Didn't interrupt. Didn't judge. When she finished, he exhaled like he'd seen this kind of evil before. "Naya, your husband didn't just wake up wanting a divorce. He built a case against you. This is a hit job. A full-blown setup." She nodded, wiping tears. "Please, attorney. I don't care about the house, the money, nothing. I just want my daughter. Help me. I'll pay you however I can, just please." He looked at her for a long moment. "Forget the money for now. What matters is moving fast. We need to respond to the lawsuit immediately." He stepped out of the room, then came back with a folder. The documents Trayvon's lawyer filed. "We need to see what evidence they claim to have." Naya's stomach knotted. The first page. Photographs. Her house messy. But only while she was sick with a fever for 3 days. Photos Trayvon took on purpose. "Attorney, this isn't fair," Naya whispered. "He did this on the days I couldn't get out of bed." Mr. Abernathy nodded slowly. "That's exactly why he took them." Next page. Credit card statements. Luxury purchases. Designer handbags. Expensive dinners. Stuff Naya never bought. Her voice cracked. "This wasn't me. I swear. Trayvon used that card more than I ever did." "Then he set you up," Attorney Abernathy said. "I can already see the pattern." But the worst was still ahead. He turned to a thick report and frowned. This is the dangerous part." "What is it?" Naya asked, terrified. "An expert witness testimony," he said. "From a child psychologist." Naya's heart stopped. "What does it say?" He handed her the report. And the words stabbed like knives. Claimed she was unstable, emotionally damaged, neglectful, a bad influence on Zaria. It recommended full custody go to Trayvon. Naya's voice broke. "When did this psychologist observe me? I've never met a doctor. According to this, she watched you secretly. At malls, parks, school pickups." Naya felt sick. Secretly? Stalking her? Writing lies? "Her name is Dr. Valencia," the attorney said. "Do you know her?" Naya shook her head. "No. Never seen her in my life." She didn't know then that the name Valencia would soon become the biggest knife in her back. A knife Trayvon sharpened himself. After leaving Attorney Abernathy's office, Naya felt like she was carrying a mountain on her shoulders. But when she walked back into her home, she realized something even worse. She was living with the very man who was trying to destroy her. Trayvon didn't leave. He didn't move out. He didn't even sleep in the same room anymore. He moved himself into the guest room like she was some stranger he needed distance from. And yet, every morning he walked around the house like the king of the castle, while Naya tiptoed around her own life like an intruder. The air in the house felt heavy, tight, cold, like walking through a battlefield filled with invisible bombs. But the scariest part? Trayvon had changed his behavior in front of Zaria. He wasn't just acting nice. He was acting perfect. Suddenly he was the fun dad. The early home dad. The "I brought you gifts" dad. One evening he came home with a huge pink box wrapped like a birthday present. "Zaria, Daddy's home," he shouted all cheerful. Zaria ran over, eyes sparkling. What is it? A brand new tablet, princess, Trayvon said proudly. Way better than the old one. This one has a high-quality camera. And Daddy added games and apps just for you. Zaria practically squealed. Thank you, Daddy. Meanwhile, Naya stood in the doorway folding laundry with shaking hands, watching Trayvon buy her daughter piece by piece. He turned toward Naya, lifted Zaria's tablet, and said loudly, You see, princess? When you live with Daddy later, you'll get new stuff all the time. Not like someone who only knows how to fold clothes. That one sentence cut Naya like a knife. But she swallowed the pain because blowing up at him? That's exactly what he wanted. Every day, Trayvon chipped away at her authority as a mother. If Naya cooked dinner, he'd taste it and say in front of Zaria, a little salty again. Don't worry, baby. When you're with Daddy, we'll just order good food. If Naya sat down to help with homework, Trayvon swooped in. No. Let Daddy teach you. Mommy makes it too confusing. Naya felt like she was shrinking, losing pieces of herself one insult at a time. Even Zaria began acting differently, confused, torn, sometimes clinging to her mom, other times pulling away after Trayvon whispered things in her ear. One night, when the house was quiet, Naya walked into Zaria's room to tuck her in. She noticed something odd. Zaria was holding something under her pillow. Naya carefully lifted the pillow. It was the old tablet. The broken one. The one with the cracked screen. The one Trayvon said was trash. Why was she hiding it? Why was she sleeping with it? Naya frowned, confused but too stressed to think deeper. She kissed her daughter and left. Little did she know, that old cracked tablet was about to save her entire life. Days passed and the tension grew thicker. Trayvon wasn't just playing the perfect father. He was erasing Naya little by little, and replacing her with himself. One afternoon, Naya got a call from the school. Mrs. Carter, your daughter has already been picked up. By who? Naya asked, panicking. By her father. Trayvon never told her. Her hands shook as she called him. Once, twice, 10 times. No answer. Hours passed. Her heart pounded painfully. When the front door finally opened at 9 p.m., she ran to them. Where have you been? Why didn't you tell me? I was terrified. Zaria smiled innocently. Daddy took me to Wonderland Park, Mommy. I had cotton candy and rides and toys, look. She lifted a giant amusement park bag full of toys. Naya forced a smile for her daughter. But when Trayvon stepped closer, she smelled it. A woman's perfume. Soft. Sweet. Expensive. Not hers. Her blood ran cold. Where were you? She whispered. Trayvon saw the realization on her face. And instead of denying it, he smirked. When Zaria ran upstairs to put away her toys, he stepped close. Too close. Did you smell it? He whispered with a devilish smile. You think I'm staying with a boring woman like you forever? Naya's breath caught. So there is someone. Oh yeah, Trayvon said proudly. She's smart, successful, and unlike you. She actually satisfies me. Naya felt her heart drop. She didn't know yet. The other woman he was bragging about was the exact same woman who wrote the professional psychological report calling Naya unstable. The same woman who would sit in court pretending to be an expert witness. The same woman who would almost destroy her. Dr. Valencia. That night, Zaria came into Naya's bedroom. Mommy, why are you crying? Naya wiped her face quickly. I'm okay, baby. Just a headache. But Zaria bit her lip. Daddy says you get mad easily because you're sick. Daddy says that when I live with him, you'll be able to rest and get better. Those words hit Naya like a punch. He had turned her daughter against her. Slowly, softly, quietly, poison disguised as love. She hugged Zaria tightly and whispered, I'm not sick, baby, and I'm not going anywhere. But as she held her daughter, Naya knew one thing. If she didn't fight back, she was going to lose her child. 2 days later, Naya got a call she wasn't ready for. Mrs. Carter, this is Family Court Services. Your mediation appointment is scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Her stomach dropped. Tomorrow? She barely had time to breathe, let alone prepare. Attorney Abernathy told her mediation was the first big step, where both sides sit together, talk and try to agree on custody and assets. If she messed up in that room? If she lost her composure even once? Trayvon would use it as ammo, and the court would paint her as unstable. That night, Naya couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Her mind kept replaying Trayvon's insults, Zaria's confused eyes, the fake psychologist's report, the empty bank account. She walked into mediation the next morning with her heart beating like a drum. Trayvon was already there with his lawyer, both sitting tall, calm, confident like they were about to win a trophy. His attorney, a woman with sharp eyes and a sharper tongue, gave Naya a cold smile. "Well," she said, "this should be enlightening." Naya sat beside Attorney Abernathy, clutching her hands under the table so tightly her knuckles turned white. The mediator, a soft-spoken older man, began. "Let's start with Trayvon. What outcome are you seeking?" Trayvon cleared his throat and spoke so calmly it made Naya sick. "I'm asking for full custody of my daughter, Zaria. My wife, she struggles. Emotionally. Mentally. She's unstable. She cannot care for a child alone." Naya's breath caught. "Unstable? Mental problems?" He said it casually like it was fact. The mediator nodded and turned to her. "Naya, do you want to respond?" Before she could speak, Trayvon's lawyer slid a stack of papers across the table. "These are photographs proving the unsafe environment in the home," she said. Naya froze. She recognized the photos. Her house messy. Laundry piled up. Dishes unwashed. All on the days she had been bedridden with fever. "That was 1 week," Naya said shakily. "I was sick." He knew. Trayvon's lawyer cut her off. "Mrs. Carter, please don't interrupt. It appears you often struggle to manage simple responsibilities." Her voice was icy. Naya felt her throat close. The mediator looked at Trayvon. "You mentioned expert testimony as well?" Trayvon nodded confidently. "Yes, Your Honor. We have a psychological evaluation from Dr. Valencia confirming my wife's emotional instability. The doctor states Naya becomes overwhelmed, irrational, and unfit for primary custody." Naya's eyes filled instantly. She forced herself not to break. Attorney Abernathy leaned forward calmly. "With all due respect, mediation is not the place for unverified expert testimony. We contest the legitimacy of this so-called evaluation." Trayvon's lawyer laughed under her breath. "Of course you do." Naya wanted to scream. She wanted to stand up and shout the truth. But Abernathy whispered, "Stay calm. Don't let them see you break." So she swallowed the hurt, swallowed the rage. But it didn't stop there. Trayvon's lawyer continued with a practiced smile. "Your Honor, we also have statements from neighbors who say Naya often yells at her daughter." Naya's eyes widened. "That's a lie. I've never." "Mrs. Carter," the mediator warned, "please don't interrupt again." Trayvon's attorney leaned back, pleased with herself. Everything was going her way. And then she said the cruelest thing yet. "Look at her right now, emotional, reactive, unstable. This is exactly why our client believes Zaria should be with her father." The room started spinning. Naya felt like the walls were closing in. Her chest tightened. Her vision blurred. Her breath got stuck halfway. Hey, Naya," Abernathy whispered urgently. "Focus on me. Breathe." She tried. She really did. But the pressure crushed her. It was too much. Too fast. Too unfair. The mediator looked at her with concern. "Mrs. Carter, do you need a moment?" Trayvon crossed his arms. "See? This is what I'm talking about. She can't hold herself together for 30 minutes. Something in Naya snapped. She stood up so quickly her chair shook. "You don't get to talk about me like that," she cried. "You don't get to paint me as some monster after everything I sacrificed for you." "Mrs. Carter, please sit down," the mediator instructed. But she couldn't. She was shaking. She was crying. She was drowning. Trayvon smirked. His lawyer whispered something into his ear, and he nodded proudly. The mediator wrote something on his notepad, something that made Naya's blood run cold. He was recording her breakdown, her panic attack. He was documenting it. Trayvon's lawyer said, "Your Honor, this is exactly why we're asking for full custody." Naya felt herself spiraling, like she was falling down a dark, deep hole. Trayvon didn't stop. He leaned forward and whispered a sentence only she could hear. "Keep crying, Naya. The more you break, the easier this gets for me. And that's when she realized. This wasn't mediation. This was an ambush. A setup. A trap. A performance Trayvon had been rehearsing for months. And she had just given him exactly what he wanted. Proof. Or at least the illusion of it. A mother breaking down in front of a courtroom. Naya cried the whole way home. Not loud sobs, but that quiet broken kind of crying where your chest hurts more than your eyes. When she walked into the house, Trayvon was sitting on the couch, legs crossed, drinking juice like he just came back from a spa. He didn't even look at her. He didn't ask how mediation went. He didn't care. He just smirked and said, "You done embarrassing yourself for today?" Naya didn't answer. She walked right past him, as if she stopped she might scream. She went upstairs to Zaria's room, hoping her daughter could lift some of the pain off her shoulders. Even just a little. But Zaria wasn't there. Her tablet was. The new one Trayvon had bought for her sat on the desk, glowing with a pretty pink case. But the old one, the cracked one she hid under her pillow a few nights ago, that one was lying on the bed. Naya picked it up gently. She didn't know why. Maybe a mother's instinct. Maybe God's hand. But something in her heart whispered, "Look inside." The screen was cracked but the tablet still turned on. Little kids forget their passwords but Zaria's was easy. Her birthday. The home screen opened. Everything looked normal at first. Cartoons, drawing apps, games. Then Naya saw a folder in the corner. A small blue folder named Daddy Time, smiling face with heart eyes. Her breath caught. She opened it. Inside, she found videos. Dozens. Some recorded by Zaria. Some screen recordings. Some caught by accident. And the moment she tapped the first one, her heart stopped cold. Video 1, living room camera clip ***. Zaria was holding the tablet sideways, talking to her stuffed animal. In the background, Trayvon and a woman sat on the couch. The woman was young, pretty, dressed professionally. The same voice from the psychological report. Dr. Valencia. Naya's lungs froze. And then she heard Trayvon's voice. "So make sure your report says Naya has anger issues and emotional instability." Her hand flew to her mouth. Dr. Valencia nodded casually. "That won't be hard. I'll add that she yells, gets overwhelmed and can't manage the home. Judges eat that stuff up." Trayvon laughed softly. "And don't forget to mention she's a danger to Zaria." Naya felt the room spin. A danger to her own child? She paused the video, shaking violently. This wasn't misunderstanding. This wasn't miscommunication. This was warfare. She clicked the next video. ###movie camera video 2. Kitchen camera clip. This time Zaria had propped the tablet against a fruit bowl. The camera caught the whole kitchen. Trayvon was leaning against the counter, talking on speakerphone. "Yeah man, the judge is gonna eat it up. Valencia already wrote her first draft. That emotional breakdown she had in mediation? Perfect timing." Silence, then he chuckled. "Bro, she's done. I'll get the house, the kid, the money, everything." Naya's entire soul shattered. He planned. He bragged. He celebrated. All while she fought to breathe. She clicked the third video with trembling fingers. ###movie camera video 3 car recording. This one broke her heart the most. Zaria was in the back seat, tablet in hand, recording accidentally while coloring. Trayvon and Dr. Valencia were in the front. "Yes, princess," Valencia said sweetly. "Mommy's just not feeling well. Daddy told me she's unstable sometimes, right?" Zaria nodded innocently. "Mommy cried yesterday." Valencia smiled like she'd won a prize. "See? That's why living with Daddy is better for you. Mommy needs help. She can't take care of you the way Daddy can." Trayvon added, "And when you tell the judge that Mommy gets angry a lot, he'll understand. You want to stay with Daddy, right?" Zaria hesitated, but Trayvon softly said, "If you say it, Daddy will be so proud of you." And Zaria whispered, "Okay." Naya dropped the tablet. She slid down onto the floor, clutching her stomach. This wasn't just manipulation. This was brainwashing. They were twisting her daughter's innocent mind into thinking her own mother was unstable. Her baby. Her sweet, gentle baby. Used as a weapon. Naya wiped her tears aggressively. Her sadness burned into something else. Something fiercer. Something sharper. A mother's rage. She picked up the tablet again. Her hands no longer shaking. She went through every single clip. The late-night calls. The whispered plotting. The rehearsed lies. The staged evidence. Trayvon flirting with Valencia. Valencia promising to destroy Naya's credibility. Trayvon laughing about taking everything. And then she saw the worst one. The one that would become the final nail in Trayvon's coffin. A video showing Trayvon telling Zaria exactly what lies to say in court. Naya covered her mouth as tears fell again. Not from pain, but from realization. For the first time in months, maybe years, she had something Trayvon didn't have. Proof. Hard. Cold. Undeniable. Video proof. This wasn't just a broken tablet. This was her weapon. This was her shield. This was her comeback. And Naya whispered through clenched teeth. He messed with the wrong mother. Naya didn't sleep. Not even for a second. She sat on her bedroom floor, the old cracked tablet in her lap, replaying every clip again and again. Not because she needed to, but because she couldn't believe what she had in her hands. This was the truth. Raw. Ugly. Undeniable. By sunrise, her fear had transformed into something else. Power. Courage. Fire. Asterisk. For the first time she wasn't scared of Trayvon. She was done being quiet. Done being polite. Done being the punching bag. She grabbed her purse, her phone, and the tablet, and marched straight out of the house. Trayvon, half asleep on the couch, yawned loudly. Where you going so early? Another emotional breakdown appointment. Naya didn't even look at him. Watch me, she said softly. The confidence in her voice made him pause for the first time in months. He opened his mouth to say something smart, but she was already out the door. ### white medium star at Attorney Abernathy's office. She stormed in without knocking. Abernathy looked up from his desk, startled. Naya? Are you okay? She placed the tablet in front of him with both hands. No, she said softly. I'm not okay. But I have something that will fix everything. Abernathy raised a brow. What is this? Press play. He clicked on the first video, and within 10 seconds, his jaw dropped. He didn't blink, didn't move, didn't breathe. He watched Trayvon and Dr. Valencia discussing a fake psychological report. He watched them laugh, plot, lie, manipulate, coach a child. Then she showed him the car video. Zaria being convinced to say her mother was unstable. Abernathy leaned back in his chair, eyes wide, whispering, Oh my God. Naya, this is big. This is huge. This isn't a custody case anymore. This is criminal. Naya swallowed. So this can help me? Help you, he said with shock. Naya, this flips the entire case. This exposes fraud, perjury, witness tampering, child manipulation. This is enough to get full custody, restraining orders, and possibly even jail time. Naya felt her knees weaken. But we have to move fast, Abernathy said, standing up. This needs to go straight to the judge before Trayvon even sniffs what's coming. He grabbed his coat, the tablet, his files. Let's go. ## white medium star at the courthouse emergency hearing. Abernathy moved like a man on a mission. They rushed into the courthouse and requested an emergency ex parte hearing. The clerk saw the word child manipulation on the request and approved it instantly. Within 30 minutes, the judge walked in, stern, tired, and not in the mood for nonsense. What is the emergency? He asked, looking at Abernathy. Your Honor, Abernathy said calmly, we have new evidence showing that the plaintiff has been coaching the child, manipulating testimony, conspiring with an outside psychologist to produce a false mental evaluation, and attempting to set up Mrs. Carter with fabricated claims. The judge's eyes snapped up. That's a serious accusation. Do you have proof? Abernathy nodded slowly. We do. He placed the tablet gently on the judge's desk. You need to see the videos. The judge pressed play. Silence filled the courtroom. Only the sound of Trayvon and Dr. Valencia whispering evil plans echoed through the speakers. When the judge got to the part where Trayvon coached little Zaria to lie, he slammed his pen down. This is outrageous. Absolutely unacceptable. Naya held her breath. The judge stood up furious. This is deliberate manipulation of the court. This is emotional abuse of a minor. This is fraud. He turned sharply to the clerk. Schedule a mandatory full custody review. Immediately. And send a summons. Both Trayvon Carter and Dr. Valencia are required to appear. Then he looked at Naya. Mrs. Carter, you did the right thing bringing this to the court. Until further notice, your husband is not allowed to remove your daughter from your care. You have temporary primary custody effective right now. Naya covered her mouth, tears spilling. Thank you, Your Honor. He nodded kindly. This court takes manipulation of a child very seriously. We will get to the bottom of this. #### white medium star. Meanwhile, back at home ****. Trayvon was sitting at the kitchen table eating cereal when Naya walked back in. He smirked. Back already? What did you do? Beg the judge to feel sorry for you. Naya didn't answer. She walked right past him, calm, too calm. He frowned. Why you acting weird? Then his phone buzzed. He grabbed it lazily. Then froze. The color drained from his face. The message on his screen read, mandatory court appearance. Allegations of fraud, manipulation and child coaching. Temporary custody granted to mother. ****. He looked at Naya slowly. His voice shook. What did you do? Naya turned around, looked him dead in the eyes and finally, spoke with all the strength she had left. I stopped being scared of you. Trayvon stood up angrily. You think you've won? Naya smiled softly. No, not yet. But you? You've already lost. And for the first time, Trayvon looked terrified. The next morning the courthouse was packed. Not with people, but with tension. Thick, suffocating electric tension. Trayvon walked in wearing his best suit. Hair perfect, jaw clenched so hard it looked painful. He wasn't the confident, arrogant man from before. No, today. He looked like a man walking into his own funeral. Right behind him was Dr. Valencia, dressed in a fancy blazer, carrying a folder thicker than a phone book. She kept brushing her hair behind her ear, adjusting her glasses, biting her lip, nervous in every direction. They both knew something was wrong. They just didn't know how bad. Naya sat beside Attorney Abernathy, calm, steady, quiet. But her eyes? Her eyes were on fire. This time she wasn't the one shaking. #### white medium star. Inside the courtroom. The judge entered with a look Naya had never seen before. Controlled rage. Serious. Cold. Powerful. ****. Everyone stood. He didn't even say good morning. He just sat down and said, let's begin. Mr. Carter. Miss Valencia, we have a problem. Trayvon swallowed hard. Your Honor, if I may. No, the judge snapped. You may not. Valencia's hands trembled. Abernathy stood tall and placed the old tablet gently on the judge's desk. Your Honor, as requested, we brought the original device containing the certifiable recordings. The judge nodded. Then he turned toward Trayvon and Valencia. You both have been accused of witness tampering, fraud, child manipulation, and falsifying professional testimony. Before I examine this evidence publicly, do either of you have anything to say? The room went silent. Trayvon opened his mouth, but Valencia tightened her jaw and blurted, this is being taken out of context. The judge raised one eyebrow. Out of context? His voice was icy. So Naya's attorney pressed play. The courtroom played video 1. Trayvon and Valencia on the couch, discussing how to write a false psychological report. Trayvon saying, make sure it says she's unstable. Valencia replying, judges eat that stuff up. Valencia's face turned ghost white. Trayvon's legs literally gave out. He fell back into his seat. The judge paused the clip. Out of context, you said? Valencia started shaking her head rapidly. That's not, I didn't, it's. The judge didn't let her finish. Play the second video. Movie camera video number 2, Trayvon bragging on the phone. She's done. I'll get the house, the kid, the money, everything. The judge pressed pause again, breathing heavily through his nose. Trayvon Carter, he said slowly. Do you understand that this alone could cost you custody permanently? Trayvon stuttered. I was frustrated. Frustrated, the judge barked. You plotted to steal custody, drain accounts, fabricate evidence, and humiliate your wife in mediation. The courtroom echoed with that one word. Fabricate. Movie camera video number 3, the worst one. Zaria in the back seat. Valencia saying, Mommy is unstable, right? Trayvon saying, Tell the judge Mommy gets angry. Zaria whispering, Okay. When that video played, Naya cried quietly. Abernathy closed his eyes. The judge looked like he was about to explode. Trayvon slammed his hands on the table. That's manipulation. Someone edited that. She hacked my files. The judge leaned forward dangerously slow. Are you telling me your 7-year-old daughter staged recordings to frame you? Silence. Naya stared at Trayvon with a calm expression that said everything. Asterisk, you dug your grave. Now lie in it. Asterisk. White medium star, the judge snaps. Bailiff, the judge shouted suddenly. A guard stepped forward. Retrieve Dr. Valencia's license number and contact the State Board of Psychology immediately. We have a serious ethical violation. You ever look at somebody you love and realize they ain't the same person you married? That's what happened to Rochelle, a 32-year-old black woman from Atlanta, whose husband disappeared for 14 days. No call, no text, not even a damn note on the fridge. And when he finally came back, he wasn't the man she remembered. Not even close. Rochelle still remembers that night. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, phone in her hand, heart stuck between worry and anger. Marcus was late again. Not unusual. He worked long shifts at the warehouse. But this time was different. This time, something in her chest told her. This wasn't just overtime. She called him. Straight to voicemail. She called again. Straight to voicemail. That's when her whole world started shaking. Rochelle reported him missing on the 3rd day. But even the police didn't take it seriously. Ma'am, he's an adult, the officer said, tapping on his keyboard. He probably just needed some space. Space? Marcus, the man who couldn't go 3 hours without texting her. You good? None of it made sense. And then, 7 days later, she got a call. But it wasn't from Marcus. And it wasn't from the police. It was from a woman whose voice shook like she'd seen a ghost. Rochelle, you don't know me, but I think your husband been here. Rochelle drove 2 hours to Augusta, with her heart pounding the whole ride. She didn't know what she was expecting. An accident? A cheating scandal? Maybe he had some secret life? But nothing prepared her. For who opened the door? An older black woman, gray twists, trembling hands. He came here 2 nights ago. The woman whispered. He was barefoot, clothes dirty, acting like he didn't know where he was. Rochelle's breath caught. Is he okay? The woman shook her head slowly. I don't think that man you looking for is the same one I saw. Valencia gasped. No, Your Honor, please, you don't understand, Trayvon told me. The judge cut her off sharply. And you followed him like a partner in crime. You manipulated a child. You falsified a report. You attempted to deceive this court. Valencia covered her face and began to cry. White medium star, the judge's final orders. The judge leaned back in his chair, eyes blazing. My decision is as follows. 1. Mrs. Carter is awarded full custody of Zaria, effective immediately. Asterisk. 2. Mr. Carter is restricted to supervised visitation only, pending further investigation. Asterisk. 3. Dr. Valencia is banned from providing any professional psychological testimony until further notice. Her license is now under review. Asterisk. 4. The court will submit evidence to the district attorney for possible criminal charges. Asterisk. This includes child manipulation, perjury, fraud, witness tampering, conspiracy. 5. All financial accounts will be temporarily frozen and audited. If Trayvon stole marital funds, he will repay every dollar. 6. Mrs. Carter is granted exclusive use of the marital home. Mr. Carter is to vacate the premises today. Asterisk asterisk. The room gasped. Trayvon's jaw dropped. You can't do that, he shouted. The judge slammed the gavel. This court can do anything to protect a child. Now sit down or I'll hold you in contempt. Trayvon sat hard, breathing like an angry bull. The judge turned to Naya, his voice gentle for the first time. Mrs. Carter, you showed incredible bravery. Your daughter is safe now. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she whispered, thank you so much. Outside the courthouse, when they left the courtroom, Trayvon chased after her. Naya, wait. Abernathy stepped between them. No, you don't talk to her. But Naya raised a hand. Let him speak. Trayvon's eyes were full of panic now, begging, desperate, terrified. Naya, please don't take my daughter. Don't ruin my life. Naya looked him dead in the eyes and said softly, you ruined your own life the moment you tried to destroy mine. Trayvon grabbed her arm. Please. She pulled her arm back and whispered, you wanted war. Now deal with the consequences. He stood there helpless as she walked away, while his entire world collapsed behind him. Trayvon didn't go home that night. He didn't dare. With every hour, more consequences hit him like bricks being thrown at his life. His phone kept buzzing. Calls from his lawyer, angry voicemails from the court clerk, messages from the psychology board asking for statements. His perfect image, his ego, his reputation, all of it was collapsing, fast, loud, and publicly. Meanwhile, back at home, for the first time, silence felt safe. Asterisk asterisk. When Naya walked into the house, it felt different. The air wasn't heavy. The walls didn't echo fear. The rooms didn't swallow her whole. For the first time in years, home felt like home. Zaria ran into her arms. Mommy, did you win? Did we win? Naya hugged her tight. Baby, we're safe now. That's the only win that matters. Zaria looked up at her with big confused eyes. Is Daddy in trouble? Naya kissed her forehead. Daddy made some bad choices, sweetheart. But Mommy's here. Mommy's not going anywhere. It was the truth. And for the first time, Naya wasn't scared of telling it. Trayvon's downfall begins. Asterisk asterisk. Later that week, Trayvon returned to pick up his clothes, escorted by a sheriff. He wasn't allowed to step foot inside without supervision. His face was sunken, eyes tired, shoulders defeated. He tried speaking to Naya, but the sheriff stepped forward. Sir, you are not allowed to engage. Trayvon clenched his jaw and looked at Naya one last time. You really think all this makes you strong? Naya stared back calmly. No. What makes me strong is that I survived everything you tried to break me with. He swallowed hard. She didn't flinch. He packed his things silently, escorted out like a stranger in what used to be his home. 2 weeks later, Abernathy called Naya. You might want to sit down for this. Naya's heart jumped. What happened? Dr. Valencia, her license has been suspended pending full investigation. She's facing charges for professional misconduct and perjury. And she's lost her job. Naya exhaled, not out of joy, but relief. Thank you, she whispered. He chuckled softly. You ever need a job as a detective, you call me. Naya finally laughed for the first time in months. A new beginning. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into healing. The laughter in the house returned. Zaria became her bright, happy self again. And Naya? She became something she never imagined. An unbreakable woman. A mother who rose from the ashes. A warrior who refused to stay silent. Asterisk asterisk. She got a part-time job. Started taking evening classes. Learned how strong she could be when she finally stopped living in fear. One night, as she tucked Zaria into bed, her daughter whispered, Mommy, I like this house now. It feels warm again. Naya kissed her cheek. It feels warm because we're finally safe, baby. After Zaria slept, Naya walked outside and sat on the porch. She looked up at the stars. Bright, quiet, peaceful. Everything she went through. Every tear, every betrayal. Every moment she thought she'd break. Led her right here. Stronger. Wiser. Free. And she whispered to the night, "I made it." So family, if this story touched your heart, or if you believe no mother should ever fight a battle like this alone, hit that like button ***, smash the subscribe button ***, and turn on the notification bell, because we've got more real-life emotional stories coming your way. Your support helps this channel grow, and it helps stories like Naya's reach the people who need them the most. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.